Alright, so today I'm going to be replacing the stock air filter with the K&N performance air filter. And I'm also going to be doing the charcoal filter delete. So I'm going to start by just removing these two 10mm bolts to get the air box out. What I'm going to do next is undo this clamp right here with the flathead screwdriver, and also lift up this tab right here so I can remove the connection for the mass airflow sensor. So just like that. Alright, so with everything disconnected, to remove the air box, you just lift up on this tab on this side, and there's one on this side as well. So you just lift up and pull back, and then it should be able to come out. So to remove this intake part where it connects to the air box, you might have to wiggle it around, but it should come out just like that. So I'm going to remove the mass airflow sensor, so when I take off the charcoal filter it doesn't get damaged. So that's just held on by two T25 screws, so I'm just going to remove those. Alright, so when you remove the mass airflow sensor, you want to be careful and not damage it because it's very sensitive. Alright, so to open the air box, you just have to remove 6 T25 screws. That's all on the outer edge. Alright, so with all the T25 screws removed, you can just lift up. And then that's the stock charcoal air filter, and that's the stock intake air filter. Alright, so to remove the charcoal air filter, I'm just going to use a razor blade and cut along the edges like this, so as close to the edge as possible. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the charcoal filter removed. So if you still have filter material along the edges, you can just go around again with the razor blade and clean it up. So this is what it looks like after cleaning it up with the razor blade. So now I'm just going to go back around with the lighter and then just burn off whatever's left. So like this. Alright, so this is what it looks like all cleaned up. So before you install it back, you just want to make sure there's no filter material that's inside, and just give it a good cleaning with using an air hose and just blowing out all the excess charcoal. So to replace the filter, it's pretty simple. You just take out the old filter and then just put in the new filter. So just like that. Alright, and then now I'm just gonna put the air box back together. Alright, so with the air box back together, I'm just gonna reinstall the mass airflow sensor. So it's just putting back the sensor with the two T25 screws. Alright, so now that everything is back together, it's ready to go back inside the car. So I got the intake boot connected back to the air box, and I already tightened down the clamp. So now I can install the mass airflow sensor connector back. That just pops in like that. Then to connect the air box back to this intake scoop, you want to make sure it goes inside here, and you want to make sure that the bottom of the intake scoop is on top of the slide on the bottom. So there's a plastic slide on the bottom that this needs to go over before it can seat correctly. So just like that. So when you feel under here, the slide on the airbox side should be under this scoop right here. So that's back together. Alright, so the last thing to do is just tighten these two 10mm bolts. Alright, so I just disconnected the negative battery terminal right there by loosening that 10mm nut. So this allows the computer to reset. So when I start the car again, the computer can recalculate the air-fuel ratio, so it runs better. Alright, so I've been driving it for about a week with the charcoal filter delete and the K&N performance intake filter. And what I've noticed is the throttle response is a lot better. Alright, so at a dead stop, hitting the gas pedal feels a lot more responsive, so there's less sluggishness. So when going from a dead stop through first and second gear, it feels like the car lost the lag that you would get from the throttle response, and it feels like it accelerates quicker. So as for the sound, it sounds almost like stock, except maybe when I'm on the freeway and I'm driving over 4,000 RPM, it might have a little more induction noise from the air intake. But other than that, when like driving on the street, it sounds just like a stock BMW.